A demon appearing as a red creature with horns and fire. Now that's pretty scary. But what might be even scarier though is the thought of a demon appearing as a nice, innocent, good-willed angel. What is good, my friends? My name is Nicholas Playlog, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the top 5 demons who pretended to be angels. Let's get into it. Number 5 on this list is the story of Lilith. Lilith is a demonic figure in Judaic mythology. She's often regarded and mentioned to in biblical Hebrew as being Adam's first wife before Eve came into the picture. Now, Lilith is assumed to be Adam's first wife due to how she came to being. Adam was formed from the clay and soil of the earth, and he is noted as being just slightly lower than an angel. Lilith was said to be formed in the same way from the same earth. So I suppose this entry is a little off because she was slightly lower than an angel, but I think it's close enough. Now, Lilith would have been intended to play the role of Eve, but that wasn't her style. I mean, she is a demon after all. She refused to bend to Adam's will and was not subservient to her husband. She decided then that this whole ruse of being his wife was enough for her, and that it was finally time to embrace her true designation of being a demon. Therefore, she abandoned the Garden of Eden and left Adam to his own devices. Several angels attempted to stop her from going, but her mind was made up and her true identity was revealed. She also tells these 3 angels that came after her when they find her at the Red Sea that her main purpose in life is to devour children. Now granted, Adam was being pretty ridiculous in some of the stuff that he requested from Lilith. However, to go from Adam's wife to a child-devouring demon is a pretty sizable fall. I suppose in this story she pretended to be an angel for as long as she could until she couldn't stand it anymore and changed into her true form of being a demon. Number 4 is from the manga series that was later turned into the popular anime series called Death Note. Death Note is considered by some to be the best anime series ever made, and it's extremely highly ranked on major anime lovers' lists. The story is centered around a high school whose name is Light Yagami. Light is a prodigy among his peers, and it is very clearly established that he is extremely intelligent. The inciting incident of this show is when he discovers a book which is called the Death Note. This book grants the holder the ability to kill anyone in the entire planet with a few caveats. The person you intend to target, you have to know their full name, and you also have to have their face in mind when you are writing their name down. Having their face in mind makes it so that you're incapable of killing everyone who shares the same name as that person, but only that specific individual will die. Now, this book doesn't come alone. In fact, you get a pretty interesting individual tagging along with it. For every Death Note, there is also a Shinigami, or a death god. In this specific case, the death god that we encounter is named Ryuk. Now, Ryuk is very clearly a god of death, and I think some could certainly refer to him as a demon, as his main purpose is to take the life of humans. However, in this show, he, along with another Shinigami, certainly seem to take on the role of guardian angels. The owner of their Death Note seeks the benefit of their advice, and these Shinigami often end up helping these individuals. However, the true intentions of Ryuk is very clearly to toy with humans, and every time he helps Light Yagami, it is only ever to suit the interest of himself in the long run. These Shinigami paint the picture that their Death Notes are a great gift, but in the end of the day, they are demons who are looking for any way possible to cause trouble. Number 3 on this list is the Serpent from Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve is a very famous biblical tale about the apparent first man and first woman to ever roam the earth. After 7 days of creating the universe, God came down to earth and made the most beautiful garden in the world, called the Garden of Eden. After that, he formed Adam, the first man to ever take to the earth and the caretaker of this beautiful garden that he had just created. He told Adam that he had the freedom to swim the water, climb the trees, eat the fruits, and explore the entire garden in all of its beauty. The one important rule that he gave to Adam was to never eat from a very specific apple tree in the middle of the garden. After he gave these instructions to Adam, he thought that Adam may be rather lonely and deserves some company. Considering Adam's apparent first wife turned out to be a demon, God decided to make Eve, and she was said to be the first woman to ever come to Earth. Now, it is told that one day the pair was walking through the beautiful garden God had created and passing by the forbidden apple tree. Dangling down from the tree was the most pristine apple that you would have ever seen and looked extremely enticing. Knowing though that they weren't supposed to have it, they carried on, but before they could leave, they were stopped by a snake dangling from the branches of that forbidden tree. The snake tells them to have a bite of the apple, tricking them into disobeying God's wishes. He goes on to say that if you were to eat this apple, then you would have the knowledge of God himself, something very tempting indeed. The pair inevitably cave into the snake and go against God's wishes. God discovers their treachery and banishes them from the Garden of Eden. Now, this snake has been tied to Satan for centuries, with many people believing that he transformed into a snake to trick them. I also realize that a snake is not the typical image of an angel that one may have in mind, but if someone was to grant me a magical fruit that gave me the knowledge of God, I would consider them to be pretty angelic. Number 2 on this list is the story of a young girl named Jaime. Jaime was a 7-year-old girl who believed that she had a guardian angel as an imaginary friend. She talked about this imaginary friend to her parents very regularly, and the parents, they didn't think anything of it, only that their daughter had a very active imagination. Well, as it would later be found out, Jaime's imaginary friend wasn't a guardian angel at all, but a demon that was simply pretending to be one. It started with little things, innocent, childlike things. Jaime would go into the cabinets and steal some extra treats without her parents looking, and if she was caught doing so, she would claim that her guardian angel or her imaginary friend told her to. Obviously, this wasn't an acceptable excuse for her parents, as they couldn't see any physical representation of this imaginary friend and had no way of knowing if Jaime was telling the truth or not. The problem started to escalate though, from the innocent extra cookie to problems at school. Jaime started being exceptionally rude to her classmates, even getting in some unprovoked fights at school. She went from a happy young girl to an angry, depressed version of herself, a pretty unfamiliar sight for a 7-year-old. Finally, everything culminated when one day the parents couldn't find the family cat. They found her dead outside in the backyard with clear evidence that it was Jaime's doing. They immediately sprung to action and got her help from medical professionals who could deal with something of this sort. It was revealed through some extensive therapy that Jaime's imaginary friend was actually a demon, pretending to be a guardian angel when really it just intended to incite chaos. Now, it is currently unknown if this was a true demon or if Jaime herself struggled with some serious mental health concerns that had her believing this was the case. Either way, one thing is for sure, whatever it wasn't looking out for her best interests. Number 1 on this list is actually the devil himself. Now, it is widely believed that the devil did not start off as simply the manifestation of evil, but was actually a beautiful angel named Lucifer. Lucifer did not stay this beautiful angel for long though, eventually being cast out by God due to his treachery. He became infatuated with himself, believing that he was the most beautiful, intelligent, powerful creature that has come to being, and thought that he deserved the power that God wielded. This didn't go well with God, obviously, and he cast him down to earth, banishing him from heaven. Lucifer then made his life mission to sabotage the word of God and incite chaos upon the earth, taking on the role of the devil as we know him today. Now, not only did Lucifer start off his life as an angel, but he has also gone on to impersonate them many times since then. I've already spoken about the story of Adam and Eve, where it's believed he is the snake that tricks the first 2 humans to eat the apple. It is also widely thought that Satan can imitate an angel of light. This is something that he has done since his inception. Even to this day, there are stories that people believed that they've had encounters with Satan or Lucifer, as a completely different entity than what we may expect him to appear as. This is obviously extremely dangerous because if an angel of light appeared in front of me and told me to do something, I would feel pretty obligated to do it. Well, there you have it, guys. That is our list of the top 5 demons who pretended to be angels. Please let me know in the comments down below any thoughts that you had about any of these stories. Also, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.